Trust is like money in Thailand. Everyone wants to help you spend it, but no one tells you the exchange rate until you're broke. I learned that lesson at 63, when I thought I was finally safe from the wolves back home, only to find out the pack had followed me across the world. If our stories resonate with you, don't forget to like, comment, and tell us where you're watching from. This story was shared with us by one of our long-time viewers, and he wanted his experience heard in my condo in Patong, watching the sunset through bulletproof glass I never needed in Oslo. My ex-wife's lawyers can't touch me here, or so I thought. The divorce took half my construction company, my house, and 28 years of my life, but I kept enough to start over in Thailand, where a Norwegian pension goes far and beautiful women don't ask about prenups. I was wrong about everything. The humidity here sticks to your skin like regret, and every morning I wake up wondering how a man who built bridges for 40 years could miss the warning signs right in front of his face. "You're too trusting," my brother Eric told me before I left Oslo. "That's always been your problem." He was right, but I thought distance would protect me from my own nature. I thought 10,000 miles would be enough to outrun the kind of woman who sees a man's kindness as weakness. Siriilac seemed different from the bar girls in Bangla Road. She worked at a travel agency, spoke perfect English, and never asked for money. When I hired attorney Comson to help with my visa extension, I thought I was being careful. Background checks, references, the works. I never thought to ask if he knew my girlfriend. That was my first mistake, but it wouldn't be my last. Every mistake has a price in Thailand, and mine would cost me more than money. She walked into my life at a coffee shop in Qatar, arguing with the barista about overcharging tourists. "You think because he's foreign you can steal from him," she said in Thai, then English. I was impressed. Most Thai women I'd met were too polite to make scenes. The tourist was French, maybe my age, looking embarrassed and grateful. Siriilac stood her ground until the barista adjusted the price. "Thank you," I said, when she sat down at the next table. She smiled, not the practiced smile I'd grown used to, but something real. Her teeth were perfect, her English accent American from studying abroad. "I hate when people take advantage," she said. "My name is Siriilac." We talked for 2 hours about everything except money. She had her own apartment in Qatar Noi, her own job organizing tours for European travel companies, her own life that didn't revolve around finding a foreign boyfriend. When I told her about my divorce, she listened without offering advice or sympathy. "Relationships end," she said simply. "Better to know than to pretend." When I asked for her number, she hesitated. "I don't usually date Farangs," she said. "They always leave." I told her I wasn't leaving anywhere. "Thailand is my home now," I said. "Norway has too many ghosts." She smiled at that. "Ghosts follow you everywhere," she said, "but maybe they're quieter here." 3 months later, she moved in. I thought I'd finally found someone who wanted me, not my bank account. I was 63 years old and still believed in fairy tales. My tourist visa was running out, and the immigration office in Phuket town felt like a maze designed to frustrate foreigners. Lines that led nowhere, forms in Thai only, officers who spoke 3 words of English. "You need a lawyer," Siriilac said after my 3rd failed attempt to understand the retirement visa requirements. "Someone who understands the system." She recommended Comson and Associates. "My friend Lek used them last year," she said. "Very professional, very honest. Not like the cheap lawyers who take your money and disappear." The office was impressive. Marble floors, awards on the wall, secretaries who spoke perfect English. Comson himself was smooth, educated in Bangkok with a firm handshake and expensive watch. Mid-40s, confident, the kind of Thai man who made me feel like a bumbling tourist. "Mr. Gunner," he said, pronouncing my name correctly on the first try. "We'll take care of everything. Retirement visa, work permit if you want it, even help with buying property." The retainer was 80,000 baht, expensive but reasonable for peace of mind. "Don't worry," Siriilac said when I hesitated. "Good lawyers cost money. Bad lawyers cost everything." I signed the papers without reading them carefully. Another mistake. Comson assured me my retirement visa would be approved within weeks. "Just a formality," he said. "You have sufficient funds, clean criminal record, proper health insurance. Enjoy Thailand." Let us handle the bureaucracy. But weeks passed, then months. These things take time, Compson said whenever I called. Government offices are slow, especially now with new regulations. Siriilac was supportive, bringing me food. During long waits at immigration, translating conversations I couldn't follow. He's doing his best, she'd say. Thai bureaucracy is complicated even for Thai people. I have an opportunity, Siriilac said one evening as we shared som tam on the balcony. The ocean stretched out below us, dotted with long-tail boats heading home as the sun set. I'd been in Thailand 8 months, and my relationship with Siriilac felt solid. We rarely fought, the sex was good, and she seemed genuinely happy. She cooked traditional food I was learning to love, massaged my shoulders after long days at the beach, and never complained when I woke up sweating from nightmares about the divorce. My cousin wants to open a restaurant, she continued. She needs an investor. I set down my beer. How much? 500,000 baht. She'll pay 20% interest annually. It seemed reasonable. Thai banks offered terrible rates for foreigners, and I liked the idea of helping family. She's very successful, Siriilac said. Owns 3 businesses already. Beauty salon, tour company, import business. Very smart woman. I met the cousin, Narisa, at a fancy restaurant in Patong. She was polished, confident, showing me business plans on her iPad. Designer clothes, manicured nails, the kind of Thai woman who belonged in Bangkok boardrooms. This location is perfect, she said, pointing to photos of a storefront near Kata Beach. Tourist area, but not too expensive. We'll serve authentic Thai food, not the fake stuff most restaurants make for foreigners. We'll make money immediately. The business plan looked professional, with profit projections and market analysis. I transferred the funds the next day. Compson handled the paperwork. Smart investment, he said. Restaurants in Phuket do very well if you know what you're doing. Narisa knows what she's doing, but the restaurant never opened. Construction delays, Narisa explained when I asked about progress. Permit issues. Very common in Thailand. The local officials want extra payments. Siriilac was sympathetic. She's frustrated too, she said. These things happen. Thai bureaucracy is impossible sometimes. I trusted them. Why wouldn't I? My retirement visa application was rejected. Not delayed, rejected. Technical issue, Compson explained over the phone. They want more documentation about your pension. We need to reapply. The second rejection came with a formal letter I couldn't understand. Red stamps, official seals, angry-looking Thai text. Compson translated, they want more financial documentation. Bank statements going back 5 years, proof of income source, verification from Norwegian authorities. I provided everything they asked for. Bank statements, pension records, tax returns, even a letter from my bank manager in Oslo, the third. Rejection included a red stamp that made the immigration officer frown when I showed it to him. What does this mean? I asked Compson. Temporary ban, he said calmly. Very minor. They think there might be irregularities in your application. We can appeal. The appeal fee was another 50,000 baht. This is getting expensive, I said. Siriilac rubbed my shoulders. Honey, legal problems always cost money, but Compson is the best. Trust him. The appeal was also rejected. Now I was on a tourist visa, leaving the country every 30 days. Cambodia, Malaysia, Vietnam, always the same routine. Fly out, get a new stamp, fly back. Very common, Compson assured me. Many foreigners live this way. It's actually better than a retirement visa in some ways, more flexible. But the visa runs were exhausting, expensive, and stressful. Immigration. Officers in Cambodia started recognizing me, asking pointed questions about my frequent travel. Business or pleasure, they'd ask. Pleasure, I'd lie, because explaining my situation would take hours and might make things worse. This can't continue forever, I told Siriilac. Maybe we should find another lawyer. She looked hurt. You don't trust Compson? He's trying his best. These visa problems aren't his fault. I felt guilty for doubting her judgment. Small things started bothering me. Siriilac's phone conversations in rapid Thai that stopped when I entered the room, unexpected visitors who left quickly when they saw me, young men on motorcycles, always in a hurry, always carrying envelopes. Who was that? I'd ask. Cousin, she'd say. Friend from work. Always vague answers, always family or work, never names or details. The restaurant investment was now 8 months overdue. No construction, no opening date, no updates except excuses. Narisa is having problems with her business partner, Siriilac explained. He took some money and disappeared. She wants to pay you back, but cash flow is tight. I suggested visiting the construction site. It's not ready, Siriilac said quickly. Too dangerous. Construction sites in Thailand are very unsafe. Wait until it's finished. But I drove past the address one afternoon while she was at work. Empty lot. No construction, no permits posted, no signs of development. Just weeds and garbage where my restaurant was supposed to be. When I confronted Siriilac, she was calm. You went to the wrong address, she said. The restaurant is in a different location now. Better spot, closer to the beach. She showed me new papers with a different address in Qatar. Everything looked official. Contracts, permits, business registration. Comsan's office confirmed the change. Very normal, he said. Business locations change during development. Market conditions, landlord issues, many factors. But doubt was growing in my chest like a tumor. I started paying attention to details I'd ignored. Siriilac's designer handbags, her frequent spa appointments, her cousin Narisa's expensive car, a new BMW that seemed too fancy for someone with cash flow problems. Business is good this year, Narisa said when I mentioned the car. Tourist season was strong. But tourist season in Phuket is always strong. I hired a private investigator without telling Siriilac. Kuhn Prasert was recommended by another expat. At Aussie Bar, a German named Klaus who'd been scammed by a bar girl and her sick mother. Very common story, Prasert said when I met him at a coffee shop in Phuket town. Thai girlfriend, lawyer problems, missing money. Let me check some things. He was professional, discreet, the kind of man who understood that expat problems required careful handling. His report arrived a week later in a sealed envelope. The restaurant investment was a shell company with no assets. The construction permits were fake, photocopies with forged signatures. Narisa owned no businesses. She worked part-time at a massage parlor in Patong and lived in a studio apartment. The BMW was rented, but the worst discovery was about Comsan. He's not just her friend's lawyer, Prasert said when we met to discuss the report. He's her cousin, blood cousin family. They'd been working together from the beginning. Every delay, every rejection, every fee had been orchestrated. My visa problems weren't bureaucratic incompetence. They were manufactured to keep me dependent and paying. How long have they been doing this, I asked. Years, Prasert said. You're not the first Norwegian. They target Scandinavians specifically. Good pensions, trusting nature, not familiar with Thai law. He showed me photos. Siriilac with other foreign men, always the same pattern. Coffee shop meetings, moving in together, lawyer referrals, investment. Opportunities, visa problems. A professional operation. There was a Danish man in his 70s, a Swedish businessman in his 50s, a Finnish retiree who looked like my neighbor in Oslo. Where are they now? I asked. Gone, Prasert said. Some went home broke. Some stayed and learned to be more careful. One killed himself. My hands were shaking as I read the report. 63 years old, and I'd been played like a teenager. Didn't confront them immediately. I needed time to think, to plan. For 3 days I acted normal while rage burned in my stomach like acid. Siriilac sensed something was wrong. You're quiet, she said. Problems with your visa. The irony was unbearable. Here was the woman who'd helped orchestrate my visa problems asking about my visa problems. Just tired, I said. Too much travel. She rubbed my back. Poor baby, this bureaucracy is so stressful. But Comsan says your appeal might be approved soon. More lies delivered with a concerned expression and gentle touch. Finally, I couldn't stand it anymore. I know about Comsan, I said. We were having dinner at our usual restaurant in Qatar, the one where we'd shared so many meals and made so many plans. She looked genuinely confused. What about him? He's your cousin. You've been scamming me for months. Her face didn't change immediately. For a moment I hoped the investigator was wrong. Maybe there was an explanation, a misunderstanding, a reason this was all innocent. Then her expression shifted. Surprise. to calculation, to something cold I'd never seen before. The mask slipped, and I saw the real Siriilac for the first time. "Who told you that?" she asked calmly. "Does it matter? It's true, isn't it?" She set down her chopsticks and looked at me directly. No pretense now, no performance. "Yes," she said, "he's my cousin." No denial, no tears, no apology, just confirmation. "The restaurant money?" I asked. "Gone," she said, "and spent." "On what?" "Living. You think I enjoyed pretending to love an old Norwegian man? You think that was free?" The words hit like physical blows. "You never loved me." "I liked you," she said. "You were kind, gentle. But love? No." She signaled for the check. "You can't prove anything. The contracts are legal. The money was freely given." She was right, and we both knew it. The hardest part wasn't the money. It was the isolation that followed. I'd cut ties with friends in Oslo, telling everyone how happy I was in Thailand. Living the dream, I'd written in emails. Finally found peace. Now I was alone in a country where I didn't speak the language, with people who saw me as a walking ATM. Every smile felt calculated. Every friendly gesture seemed suspect. The expat community in Phuket was small, and word travelled fast. "Another one got scammed," I heard whispered at Aussie bar. Some men offered sympathy. "Happened to me too," said an Australian retiree. "Different girl, same story." Others seemed to think I deserved it for being stupid. "Never trust them," said a German businessman. "They're all the same, predators." But I couldn't accept that. Siriilac wasn't evil because she was Thai. She was opportunistic because the opportunity existed. I'd presented myself as lonely, wealthy, and naive. Perfect prey. The condo felt empty without her things scattered around. Strange how quickly. I'd gotten used to sharing space after living alone for 2 years since my divorce. Her shampoo bottles in the shower, her books on the coffee table, her shoes by the door. Small reminders that someone else lived here, that I wasn't completely alone in the world. I started drinking more, sleeping less, avoiding places we'd visited together. Carter Beach, our coffee shop, the restaurants where we'd shared meals and made plans. Thailand began feeling like a prison instead of paradise. 3 months after Siriilac disappeared, Pressert called with unexpected news. "She's back," he said, "with a new target." I didn't want to know, but curiosity won. She was dating a Swedish businessman, following the same pattern. Coffee shop meeting, moving in quickly, cousin's investment opportunity. But this time was different. "The Swede is suspicious," Prasert said. "He's asking questions, checking references. Maybe your case spooked them." Part of me wanted to warn him, but I hesitated. Why should I care if another foreigner got scammed? Let him learn his own lessons. "There's something else," Prasert continued. "She's been asking about you." Siriilac had contacted mutual friends, claiming she missed me and wanted to explain. "She says there were misunderstandings," one friend reported. "She wants to make things right." The manipulation attempt was so transparent it was almost insulting. But it also revealed something important. The scam wasn't working as smoothly as before. Maybe I'd learned enough to fight back. I agreed to meet her against everyone's advice. "Don't do it," Wipada said. "No good can come from this." But I needed closure, answers, something to make sense of what had happened. We met at a neutral location, a hotel lobby in Patong. She looked the same but somehow smaller, still beautiful, but the confidence was forced. Designer clothes, perfect makeup, but something fragile underneath. "I know you hate me," she said, "but I never wanted to hurt you." "Just steal from me," I replied. "That's different," she said seriously. "Stealing is about money. Hurting is about feelings." Her logic was twisted but genuine. In her mind, she'd provided companionship and affection in exchange for financial support. A business transaction, not a romance. "You got what you paid for," she seemed to be saying. "Why did you come back?" I asked. We were sitting in comfortable chairs, drinking coffee like old friends catching up. The hotel was expensive, neutral territory where neither of us had memories. "The Swedish man figured it out," she admitted. "Too smart, too careful. He hired investigators before we even started dating. She looked vulnerable in a way I'd never seen. And I did miss you sometimes. Miss the money, I corrected. That too, she agreed. But you were kind to me. Gentle. Some men aren't. It was a strange conversation. Honest in a way our entire relationship had never been. No lies now, no performance. Just two people acknowledging what they'd been to each other. Can I ask you something? I said. Did you ever feel anything real? She considered this seriously. Yes, she said finally. Not love, but comfort. You made me feel safe. While you were robbing me. Yes. No apology, no excuse. Just acknowledgement. I found myself respecting her honesty more than I'd respected her lies. What do you want now? I asked. The Swede might press charges, she said. Komsan is worried. We might need to leave Phuket. She wasn't asking for money or help, just sharing information. Maybe warning me that my problems might follow them wherever they went. Good, I said. Maybe the next man won't be as trusting as I was. She nodded, understanding that our conversation was closure, not reconciliation. We parted without drama or anger, just tired acceptance of what we'd been to each other. Take care of yourself, she said. You're not a bad man. You're not a bad woman, I replied, just a practical one. I never got my money back. Wipada recovered about 80,000 baht through asset seizure, but the rest vanished into the Thai banking system's labyrinth. Komsan had transferred most of it offshore before disappearing. Standard procedure, Wipada explained. They've done this many times. I could have left Thailand, returned to Oslo with my tail between my legs. Some days I wanted to. Pack everything, book a flight, pretend this chapter never happened. But running away twice felt like giving up entirely. Instead, I learned, really learned, not just the surface lessons about trust and verification. I learned Thai, enough to understand conversations I wasn't supposed to hear. I learned about visa regulations, business law, and cultural customs that protect insiders and exploit outsiders. Knowledge became my armor. I joined expat groups focused on helping newcomers avoid scams. My story became a cautionary tale told over beers at volunteer meetings. Check everything twice, I'd say. Trust, but verify. Hire independent lawyers, not ones recommended by girlfriends. Some men listened, others didn't. You can't save everyone, Klaus the German told me. Loneliness makes men stupid. He was right. You can't save people from their own loneliness and dreams, but you can try to give them tools for survival. I'm still in Phuket, still single, still careful. The sunset from my condo is beautiful, whether or not someone shares it with me. I've made real friends now. Other expats who've survived their own Thai education. Local people who see me as a neighbor rather than a target. The paranoia has faded, replaced by informed caution. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd been smarter from the beginning. Would Siriilac have found another angle of approach? Was I doomed from the moment I walked into that coffee shop, or could different choices have led to different outcomes? I think about my ex-wife in Oslo, who left me for my business partner. At least her betrayal was honest. Pure greed and opportunity. No elaborate deception required. She wanted half my assets and took them through lawyers and courts. Clean, legal, brutal. Siriilac's scam was more sophisticated, but somehow less personal. Professional, almost. A business decision executed with precision and patience. I don't hate her anymore. Hate requires energy I'd rather spend on living. She did what she thought necessary to survive in a system that offers few opportunities for women without family wealth or advanced education. I was a resource, not a person, in her calculations. Understanding that doesn't excuse the deception, but it makes it comprehensible. The money I lost was significant, but not devastating. My Norwegian pension still covers a comfortable life in Thailand. I've adjusted my budget, moved to a smaller condo, cut back on restaurants and travel. Simple pleasures remain. Morning coffee on the balcony, afternoon swims, evening walks on the beach. The emotional damage healed slowly, like bones after a bad break. Stronger in some places, permanently sensitive in others. I'm more careful now about who I trust and why. but I haven't become cynical. Trust is still possible. It just requires better judgment and clearer boundaries. Thailand taught me lessons I couldn't learn anywhere else about resilience, adaptation, and the difference between loneliness and solitude. Some lessons are worth their cost, even when the price seems too high at the time.